the stock market, meaning companies, new highs.
I'm not fucking leaving. The show goes on. Nuts, they're nuts. They know nothing.
An online network called Internet.
Well, it's very hip to be on the internet right now.
Welcome, my degenerates. The rest of your life starts right now on Market Mania, presented by Kalshi. The no bullshit approach to all financial markets, including election betting, cryptocurrency, and the largest casino in the world, the U.S. stock market. We are back, baby. Konnichiwa to Kalshi. And Elon the dog is a good boy. Catch our election action with Bart Hansen that we did last night. Go ahead and click through to see that. And then remember, we're going to be locked and loaded for November 5th. Remember to watch Market Mania on the 5th of November. And it's all going to be election betting then. Take a look at our top story today. Mystery millionaire. Some big boss came in, the mega ape came in and blasted 30 million. That is a non-negligible number on a bunch of pro-Trump bets on a non-Kalshi popular prediction market. Brett Ritchie, has this moved the numbers?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's just a lot of money to come into this market. But, you know, interestingly enough, there's a lot of other people out there with money that could sort of counter this move that haven't. So I think it's one piece to the puzzle as to why Trump has risen up to 60-40-ish, but it is not the only piece.
Praise be, Trump is risen. So I would say prediction markets are going to become way more important as time goes on. Kalshi's only like 3 weeks, 2 weeks or something into taking action.
They got a late start this cycle, but they're the one that is the legal, you can deposit from your U.S. bank account and bet on Kalshi. So I think that they're going to keep growing pretty quickly. Market
Mania is actually a pretty good tracking of this because we keep pulling up the markets every day on Kalshi for the general and the popular vote. And then we saw like the first million come in like a day or two later. Then it was 5 million. I checked yesterday when we were clicking around with Bart. I want to say there was 20 million that flew in there. The other big market has like 2 billion in it. And then so when you see the odds and some guy apes in, I mean, I saw the position, one of the accounts had like 16 million of pro-Trump stuff in it. And then like, I think the real story, Brett, you could tell me what you think about this, is that anybody on the internet can essentially blast on this and like you can get money in. So if you see
anyone with 30 million.
Mark Cuban is dressing up like a lesbian and he's getting on shows and like talking shit. And like, but like that guy's got a big bankroll. Like, and then everyone's like, oh, maybe it's Elon just moving the market. But can't somebody come in if they think that these numbers, Susquehanna, somebody that's like a boss level, trader, how could they not bet this back down basically?
Well, they might think that Trump should be favored by this much. Elections are tricky, right? Because the sample size is just so small that it may be hard to get this level of confidence, even for a billionaire out there or whatever.
Guys,
whatever this guy has.
The thing is, when there's big money traders like market makers like Susquehanna, Jane Street, all those guys, Citadel, like they can price options to the penny. They can price stocks based on earnings, to a lesser extent. But it's really hard to price an election, and even for these guys. So even if they think it's worth. Let's say they think Trump's worth between 55 and 65%. They're not going to have that much conviction in that range. So like when you're talking about a difference between 57% and 59%, there's no conviction there for these guys. They don't have enough information.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let me hit you with this, Maclan. So maybe there's no conviction, but certainly the arbitrage opportunity exists here without very much counterparty risk.
So the arb's there for sure. But as you know, Kalshi is the only regulated betting site in the U.S. for U.S. So U.S. market makers, someone like Susquehanna, they can't arbitrage legally unless they're doing kind of back end where they have some kind of like Irish subsidiary where they're selling on a different site, on a European site, and buying here. So you'd have to if there were two American sites where you could arb, you could certainly believe the arb would not exist very long.
So
fun time regulation.
The most interesting theory I saw on this, to me, is that it could be a crypto whale who noticed that Trump and Bitcoin are correlated, right? As Trump's odds rise in the last year, Bitcoin's price has gone up. When Kamala's doing well, Bitcoin has crashed. So they were like, it could be somebody that took out a levered long on Bitcoin, then is piling into Trump because Bitcoin is going to tail it. So it could be almost like the 30 million bet is not the bet. That's the smokescreen for the real bet, which is to long Bitcoin.
Your balloon there, your little conspiracy theory. One of the guys who's researched this phenomena has stated specifically that all the deposits, there's multiple deposits for like 500,000 to $1 million to these sites, that the big whale they're calling them. All the deposits have been Monday through Friday, none on the weekend. So it's probably not a crypto guy. It's probably a guy that's using bank wires to fire the money in. So it's probably not a Bitcoin guy.
I caught that too. That's actually kind of an interesting one. So I guess it was all like Kraken withdrawals or something. So probably a USA guy, and then I mean, how could there, if it's a USA guy, how could it not be an arb? How could there not be an arb opportunity? I mean, and I saw a couple other things flying around. Maybe it's GCR, the very, very famous leverage trader from the crypto space that probably has something like mid to high 9 figs or something that he ran up. And then,
so there's a couple of things. There's only an arb opportunity if you can do on both sides are legal. Number one, the transaction costs, the cost of moving the money around, the cost of doing the trades are small enough that the width between the two markets is wide enough where you can capture that spread. And also there's also currency risk as far as if your currency is on Bitcoin on some Asian site where you're doing the other side and you have some kind of risk where they might default on you have real risk there. Where the nice part about on this side with Kalshi is it's a US regulated site, so you really don't have that kind of risk. I think it's insured SEC, FDIC, all that nonsense.
So Glance, this is probably a good time. Tony, if you have us logged into Kalshi, if you could click our portfolio, just because Glance wasn't here, and we really went around, we made some hasty clicks last night. And then a lot of people are kind of following. Well, I mean, we had Bart on, and I got an itchy trigger finger. And I saw that there were some comments that are like, well, maybe your bets weren't correlated. Who the fuck cares? I mean, we're sailing it in. We're going to try to run it up. I mean, this isn't like a niche show. If you thought, oh, well, look, there's 0.07% equity in this, but no, that's not this kind of show. We have Contrarian Richie sitting next to us. We're not going for the old, 96 cents to win $1. We want the 6 cents to win $1. So this is what we got right now. We got the yes on Ted Cruz. Bart Hansen, who we thank for being on the show, he's going to be on again. We're going to have a whole election special with him. He was like, I hate this guy, but I want to bet. It was reminiscent of the Glance JD Vance bet that we put, that didn't, that was before we started the show. Just so you guys know, we're firing anyway. Brett, what do you think, or Glance? I mean, when you look at what we got here?
That's all agreeing.
I mean, I trust Bart's opinion over almost anyone else in the election betting markets. So when he said last night specifically for the Ted Cruz bet, he said, look, I hate Ted Cruz, but I love this bet. And then you asked him if you should fire 1,000 or something. And he's like, I would put half your bankroll. If it was me, I'd put half your bankroll in here. So he's really convicted on this one. So I really like that one. Not knowing anything, I'm going to be putting a lot of money on Ted Cruz to win the Senate race.
Yeah. You boys want to heavy up your Cruz?
Bart's opinion.
I mean, do you want to just fire another 1,000 right now? Just on
100%.
Bet? Okay. All right. I mean, thank you very much, Tony, for jockeying this. I mean, it's just good to show the boys that we are just winging thousands across the old wires there. And I mean, that's when we're going to show you everything. We're going to try to run it up to 25K. I saw there was some hate on the internet, and that's fine. That's okay. We don't. That just kind of. You just kind of brush that off, Some people are out there doing it, and, some people are.
Some people are out there lying about going to Stanford and spending their days as a sad troll on the internet, and their name may or may not be Parlay Tom.
Inside jokes do really well on a.
He didn't go to Stanford. He's just lying.
Shots across the bow coming from Market Mania, and then we of course, bring you news from the largest casino in the world. And that's why we have Matt Glantz here. He's been an equities trader for a long time, a derivatives trader. He understands, straddles, strangles, things that you don't understand most likely. And so tell us, Matt Glantz, tell us about this Netflix earnings coming up. This is a big one.
No, Netflix earnings came out last night. They blew them out. The stock's up 10%. They're just crushing $10 billion revenue in a quarter. They just have a lock on the streaming services. Like everyone you know has Netflix. No one, even if they raise prices, no one's quitting Netflix because there's no other streamer out there that you really want.
I don't really use it, but I still pay for it.
Of course. And they got this ad revenue stream now where they have like you could pay a lower amount, but then you get ads. So that's really profitable for them. They're just crushing it. There's just no competition anymore. Disney has failed. Paramount, none of them are close to Netflix, and they're not going to be. And Netflix now could just spend money like it's going out of style, and nobody has a chance.
What's that market cap now? Is that a $300 billion entity?
It's probably a lot higher than that, I would guess. No, 325.
That's a pretty big entity right there for wasting your time. And I mean, to be fair, anybody that's trying to hook up, when it's Netflix and chill, I mean, they're in the vernacular as what you do with your girl. I mean, that's pretty sick. That's you're embedded in their minds. You got the hearts and minds. Did you read the thing? They said something where like the thing that we're most the biggest problem that we're facing is that people sleep. Did you ever catch that? Did you ever catch that soundbite out of that?
Yeah.
Was like, what do you do? There's maybe something to be said for destroying the fabric of society here. You're just locked into the screen. You're watching the show after show, and it tricks you. As soon as it's done with the show, it just tries to let you ape into some other show. It just starts playing it, and you're like, okay, well, fuck it. I'll just. And
then after 6 hours, they do the "Hey loser, are you still watching?" Yeah.
Yes, keep going. We're gonna binge all of it. Yes, we're gonna do it. Nope, nothing else to do today. We're just gonna ignore everything else. That's fun. So so it plays here. I mean, you got is there value there, Matt? Or they're just not big.
I'm not a stock picker like that. I'm sure that you'd be fine owning that in the long run, but who knows in the next 3 months, 6 months if that stock's going to be up or down 10, 20%.
Tony, the producer's joining us. We have our resident conspiracy theorist, brilliant AV producer guy here. I know you got something spicy for us today. You don't break into the show unless you got the hotness.
That's right. Some echoes from the dissident right here. I gotta say, I'm so glad you guys are in my life just to keep me kind of sane. But I was looking at this. I just saw it right before the show went. I thought it was so interesting. Looking at this is a chart of money spent on political leanings from the top U.S. tech executives. And starting in 2000, they were a little bit more conservative. But as you can see, over the 2 decades, they lurched to the left over that time through all, I'm sure, just the media changing, the messaging changing, the generation coming up. And then suddenly in 2024, this massive repositioning of U.S. tech money in the political sphere. So I've got a few theories why this is, and among them are the just absolute mistreatment of the media and the Democrats of fully half of this country, the lies, the deceit. I mean, where do you even start? J6, Covington kids, the COVID lockdowns, the mask wearing. I mean, you should have seen the names I was called when I refused to wear a mask. I mean, these people lost their freaking minds. And I think everyone saw that, especially the tech execs. And I think it's starting to be reflected in political money being sent, and will, of course, affect markets like Kelshi. So I just wanted to put this out there. I thought it was so interesting. What do you guys think? Am I crazy? No,
you're not crazy. You're not crazy. I think crazy is giving money to this authoritarian, warmongering Democrat machine, gaslighting. They're trying to. They just want to control information, misinformation. I've never seen a left winger get fact checked, and they lie all the time. So I think a lot of people are fed up.
I agree. I think my main investment thesis is that the world is run by a bunch of
lizard people,
pedophile, warmongering, money printing lizard people, and you should invest accordingly. And I think people are waking up to my view of things, and it's starting to show in political money being spent. I'm going to get out of here and leave you with that conspiracy. You can chew on it all you want. But before I go, let me just say again, thank you to Kelshi.com. And if you want to support Market Mania, the best way to do it, Kelshi.com/Market Mania. You don't have to support me, but these guys up here are doing a lot of good work. So would really appreciate if you like the show, just to go to that link and maybe put a little money there. That helps us out a lot. So I'm getting out of here. I'll leave it up to you guys.
Thank you very much, Tony, the producer. I mean, Glance, that little bump, that little red bump, that could be all just Elon or like Elon and Zuckerberg.
I mean, I don't think it is. I think it's pretty clear that Silicon Valley was super left, and now a big portion of that super left contingent has now gone as far to the right, or at least for Trump.
I mean, the pendulum always swings. It goes too far left, and then now, it swings back right. We'll see if it gets too far right. We'll just see. The pendulum seems to always swing here. And thank you very much, Tony, the producer. We do need our dissident right. We do need that voice on here. Speaking of voices that will be on here, next week we're going to have Andrew Barber on, which is going to be a great show. He's more of a left-leaning gentleman, and we're also going to have on a guy named PJ Black, Darewolf, if you know him, on Wednesday, and then Andrew Barber on Thursday. It's going to be a packed show as we lead into the election. Right now, it is time to go ahead and affix our safety glasses on, because it is going to be the Market Mania pick of the day.
Make the party rock, drop it like it's hot. Everybody stack, I'm stacking to the top.
Maximum protection for this segment. Matt Glantz, what is your pick of the day?
That is a good question. Is Tony going to pull it up? Tony, the producer.
Tony's going to give you the answer.
That's not my. There we go. Enphase. Enphase Energy, solar company. It's been hit a lot recently, mostly because the Democrats are seen as good for the solar industry, and since Kamala's getting her ass handed to her lately in the betting markets, that this stock is taking a deep dive, and I think it's a little overdone. It's a good long-term hold. I love the solar business, so this one is my pick of the day.
Love solar. I live out here where it's windy and sunny all the time. It is way better to decentralize the grid. I love energy storage and solar production. I can't wait to see that stuff keep falling in price and get more and more installed. Brett Ritchie, what is your pick of the day?
My pick of the day is over on Kalshi. It is that Michigan will be the closest state in the presidential election. There's a fun market. You could get pretty much long shot odds on whichever state you want to have the narrowest margin of victory. But I like Michigan here. I think that with the Israel-Palestine conflict, they have a higher Arab population in Michigan than most states. And I think it's going to come in close. So it's just a fun sweat. You get, some pretty big plus money on a long shot that may have a better chance to hit.
Can we get 250 on that? Can we just get 250 on that real quick? I mean, what's the point of
Yeah, sure.
I don't understand. We don't have money on that right now? I mean, we should have money on that.
All right. Send it in.
Shouldn't we have money on that? Like just 250 to win 1,500 or whatever?
Yeah.
That feels good. No, that's great. So, I mean, that's your pick of the day. All right, great. You see, when you have the pick of the day, you pick it. And,
money where the mouth is.
Thank you very much. Money where your mouth is. That's what Market Mania stands for. Money, mouth, Market Mania. It's MMMM. So we have my pick of the day is a really fun one. I love this company. It's Joby Aircraft. And Joby is a eVTOL company. I'm sure Glance this one was a hot stock, and it's got to have crossed your.
Yeah, I love it. So maybe Tony could show a picture of one of the Joby aircrafts, the personal aircrafts.
If he could, if Tony wants to race around during the pick of the day, try to pull up the Joby website. It's not Joby.com, it's something else. But then it's this cool ass air taxi thing that kind of looks like a drone, and it's all electric and it's very quiet. And so they just were doing some approvals. How cool is that shit? They're trying to do them in Dubai and New York, because I guess New York has bad traffic when you're trying to get to the airport. And so there's a couple of things. It would be perfect for the island I'm on too. There's a couple of these things where the thing just lifts off and then just lands, and it just takes you there. It's just you don't have to take a plane, you don't have to take a helicopter. It's not loud. It's just and you just recharge the battery and do it again. It just looks really awesome, and I really hope that these things become how people move around. And I ain't going to be the first one to ride it.
Wasn't this a SPAC originally?
I think, I believe 4 years ago, Joby Aircraft spacked all over our faces and then now became a proper stock, and it's a multi-billion-dollar valuation. But if these shits has become how people travel in Dubai or something, then you're going to see that stock. I mean, this is a gamble. This is one of those contrarian plays. This is either going to zero or you're going to, or like a 10x in 10 years.
Speaking of SPACs, speaking of SPACs, what would you guess the average Chamath SPAC is down from the time it went public?
Oh, that's got to be an 80-90%. Yeah, I don't know it either, but we're gonna have to find the answer to that for tomorrow, because that's a great question. I will bet in that 4 years, I'll bet they're wrecked. I'll bet mega wrecked.
Completely wrecked.
What do you think? You think mega wrecked?
I would say 90% plus.
All right, and that we're gonna, somebody remind us to bring you that info tomorrow, because I do want to know that too. That's a great question, Glance.
There is no show tomorrow, and we got a request in the chat for you to bring back the toga. Just FYI. So
the toga.
You wore a toga at some point last time. I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm not going to lie to you. Don't remember that. Happy to do it again if that's what the viewership wants. Do not recall that, but I will bring back the toga. We're going to get some footage, clip some screenshots for me. Remind me, and I'll probably still have that thing. I'm kind of a hoarder. I don't throw that stuff away. And that is going to do it for October 18th. Thank you to Brett Ritchie for reminding me that it is the weekend and we do not have to do this tomorrow, but we will be back. We will be back, baby, on Monday. And then we'd like to leave you, especially for the weekend, with some words of wisdom from a modern day poet or sage or muse of our time. And today it's going to be the song Funky Friday by Dave and Fredo. And it goes a little something like this. At this age, how are the man still hating? My young boy in a different country, but he ain't never been on vacation. One hand on the girl I'm dating, one hand on the cash I'm making. We come through like Funky Friday and have all of your man dem skating. Join us for the election special. Join us next week. We're going to have on Andrew Barber and we're going to have on Darewolf. And then like and subscribe to this right here on X, on YouTube. We have the whole thing. You can watch all the episodes there. And Kalshi.com/marketmania to support. We will see you tomorrow, if there is a tomorrow next week. But for now, it is lights out.
Come on, I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. Come on, I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. Come on, I never sleep if I don't have. I never sleep. Come on, I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. Time to right the wrong, so your hands in the air if you like the song. If you're going over there, take it twice as long. Last time ain't talking about Tylenol. Oh, I bet you'd like to know. You can come around the way if you're trying to go. If you want to switch lanes for a pot of gold or a domino, out of control. The usual, get mad cause I'm looking at your girl. Switch it up. I do it so much louder than everything you've heard. Everybody heard at the word that the world wasn't turning. Act like you're in a jury, power of attorney, we're how we're turning. Can't lie like it's Mississippi burning. Don't act like you're in a daze. I imagine to look the other way. Couldn't clear space on my mind, was afraid of the time. Strobe light flicking in the moonlight. I'm in the mood right now, how about tonight? My